He's the mayor at the center of it all, sort of.
The Dan Yorke State of Mind program is brought to you in part by Lookout Rhode Island and Takeo Comfort Solutions.
You know, I mentioned last week that the House and Senate Oversight Committee's folly in trying to carve themselves a niche in this bridge controversy was just that, folly. And I think dysfunctional at its best, never mind its worst. That they have promised to keep meeting is kind of a threat, I think, versus a functional offer. But right now, there doesn't seem to be anything on the table, which is a good thing because we are waiting for concrete information. I guess concrete is kind of a pun. I don't know what steel or whatever. But unless and until we get some information in the next couple, 3 weeks about what really happened, what's really the status, and where we're going, oversight is something that we don't necessarily have to have. But what is constructive is the day-to-day stuff where the people who are in the middle of this, and the mayor of East Providence, who you'll meet in a couple of minutes here, I think has done an exemplary job of being in touch, being communicative, being open, and you know, he took a little flyer at being you know, a traffic engineer the other day, something that I frankly have taken a couple of swipes at too. In fact, I think just about everybody on your side of the television has decided that they are one since the bridge has come down. But we'll have some fun talking about that. But we'll meet the East Providence mayor and talk about you know, where he's been with this whole situation and what the status is, and maybe we'll check in on some things that are pertinent to the fair city of in due time during the broadcast. So with no further ado, yesterday was an announcement. Well, you're seeing this again. I always tell you when you see this on Friday night and Sunday night that we record on Thursday afternoons. And Wednesday afternoon, the governor and his right-hand guy, Joe Almond, and Peter Alviti had the primary speaking roles at a press conference where yet another triage plan in lieu of the big answer was introduced. Here's how that went.
The idea is to add new lanes on both directions on 195 so that more people can go through and there will be less traffic. However, it's still unclear how effective these new lanes will be. Another day of sitting in traffic on 195 caused by the Washington Bridge shutdown, something Uber driver Paul Finnegan has to deal with continuously as he does his job.
Terrible traffic jams. Terrible wait times all day long.
Finnegan says it usually takes him half an hour to cross the bridge during a single ride, but RIDOT is hoping to reduce that time by adding a new lane of traffic on both sides of 195. However, how much time it will save is still unclear.
We know that adding 50% capacity to what is there right now is going to save a considerable amount of time. But depending upon the time of day and the traffic conditions, weather or accident conditions, that'll vary, right? We do know that there will be an overall savings in both directions.
The new lanes will be more narrow and the speed limit will also be reduced to 40 miles per hour. But both East Providence and Providence mayors agree it will be beneficial.
I think this can only be a good change.
However, some drivers are still skeptical. Do you think it might help?
No.
No? Why not?
No. Nothing helps in Rhode Island when they do something. You know, with the traffic, forget it. It's always the same thing.
Work on the new lanes will begin on Monday, and it's expected to take 8 weeks, if not longer, because of the weather, temperature to paint the road, and supply chain issues. Reporting in East Providence, I'm Alex Torres-Perez, 12 News.
Listen, the thing about being a mayor on the street is that you're talking to that guy at the gas station all the time, are you not?
That's correct. Yes, we hear directly from the residents and how they feel about the whole situation.
And there's a built-in, I wouldn't say it's across the board, but there's a built-in component of the population that just doesn't believe or trust in anything that can get fixed or progress ever. And God forbid when something really goes wrong, like the bridge, yikes.
They become the most vocal.
Yes.
And we get the phone calls, we get the emails, and you know, we get the stress, the frustration gets, they want to put that on somebody. So, you know, when you're an elected official, that's part of the job, and that's part of what we've been dealing with.
Welcome, Mayor. Great to have you. Bob DaSilva is here. He is the mayor of East Providence. How long have you been the mayor now? A couple of terms?
We've completed 5 years. This is my second term. I'm into my 6th year.
Yeah.
You know, I thought after the first term, dealing with the pandemic and COVID,
right,
it was going to be easy peasy. Second term, a lot of great things happening in the city. We're going to get some projects done, and then bam, the bridge closes.
How'd you like to be the governor?
That hasn't crossed my mind.
No, but no, I'm not asking if you're running for governor. No, I'm just saying in the same mode, you're having the entire COVID response, and then all of a sudden now this becomes, something very different, but something that is, a stress on the community of significance and kind of uncharted territory. Not necessarily, infrastructure is not necessarily uncharted like the virus was, but still, there are some unanswered questions that a layman, elected official who's not an engineer, construction engineer, doesn't know, right?
That's right. That's right. And I think the governor's doing a great job trying to deal with a situation that came to him, landed on his plate. And as a former mayor, and being a mayor now, and the governor being a former mayor, this is what we deal with every day. These type of situations that arise, and then you have to kind of digest all the information and make a decision. And I think he's been doing the best he can with the facts that he has before him.
All right, I want to go backwards in a minute, but while we're on this idea of the traffic pattern being adjusted one more time, the DOT director indicated that this is an 8-weekish type of thing. By the way, Matty, can I throw you a little bit of an audible here? Can you give me that other piece of sound there? And it was 8 weeks with a couple of caveats.
Weather could impact the time frame and temperature, because much of what has to go on is a complete restriping of these travel lanes in both directions. The paint that we use is subject to being installed under certain temperature conditions.
Right. So, bottom line is it's an 8-week plan as long as all the material comes in, Jersey barriers and the like, and the weather doesn't screw things up. And I'll give the DOT director a break here. I'm going to call it an 8 to 12-week plan. So here we are in the middle of March, April, May. Probably by Memorial Day, this thing is going to be up and running. What is your gut check on this new triage plan?
I think anything that helps to get traffic over that bridge and alleviates congestion on the highway is going to help our community. It's not the full answer we're all waiting for, and I feel that DOT and the governor, everybody else also understands that that's not the final solution, but at least it provides some relief if they can pull it off, and I think they can. I mean, you're talking about 50% more capacity on either side, westbound and eastbound. There's still going to be congestion in and around East Providence because of the on-ramp situation. Everyone's still coming to basically 3 on-ramps to try to get onto the highway, so you're still going to have some congestion, but if you can move traffic more freely through the bridge, I think it should help our situation too.
We should also remind you that we've had one triage move already. So the bridge gets shut down, all hell breaks loose. We'll go back to that nightmare. You'll probably start twitching or something when we talk about the first 3 or 4 days. But we had the first 3 or 4 days, and then we had kind of like a couple of moves with emergency vehicles, which is something that always concerns me. I'm sure you. But after a couple of 3 weeks, we were kind of like, all right, we're in this rhythm. We're arguing about how long it really takes, blah, 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 blah. And, well, you tell the story. Some constituent, somebody said to you, hey, what if we do X? And then you transferred that information up to the director. And tell us about that one.
So basically, from the very beginning, we've always been reassessing and readjusting traffic situations and patterns around the neighborhoods to try to alleviate traffic in East Providence and in those neighborhoods. And somebody reached out and said, hey, it may help if you were to have people funnel in further back towards the Massachusetts line. And I reached out to the director and I said, look, director, this is something you may want to take a look at.
Not for nothing.
Not for nothing, but I've got this. No, I'm not a traffic engineer. Let me just go on the record.
Well, right, but hey, not for nothing. What do you think, right?
What do you think?
What do you think, and what did you suggest?
I said, this is what was said to me. I kind of see the logic. I being a novice, or not a novice, being a lay person, I could see the logic in having people kind of form into 2 lanes and allow the on-ramp lanes to be more easily accessible from our city. I said, this is something that someone said to me, can you take a look at it? And I guess he went and they model it with engineers and with software and whatever they do, and they came up with the idea of implementing it.
Right, so what you suggested simply was to take what was the 3-lane traffic that was actually 3.5 and 4 as people coming off the trail, which I didn't even know was an expressway. Did you know that we had what is it, East Shore?
East Shore Expressway.
East Shore Expressway? I've been driving it for 25 years. I had no idea it was an expressway. Yeah. But you take the trail down, then Pawtucket. I'm just like a Rhode Islander now. I don't know the names of roads anyway. I can't tell you how to get anywhere other than where it used to be and take a left at the church, you know, blah, 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 that nobody goes to or whatever. But anyway, you come down the Wampanoag Trail, it merges, Pawtucket Avenue merges, Broadway merges. And it's, you know, I live that every night driving home. What you had suggested is narrow that 2-lane traffic more earlier and move it back toward Massachusetts on the westbound side, so the ramping would be a little bit more smooth. And actually, I think it did actually cut 3 to 4 minutes off of my average commute. And I have timed the bottom of the Wampanoag Trail to South Main Street anywhere from 7 to 27 minutes in any given night. Right. So you don't know.
It's hit or miss, and the issue you run into, even prior to this all happening with the bridge being shut down, 195 has always been tight. And if there was ever an accident or some other condition that affected the travel of traffic through the area, you'd have incredible backups into our city and onto the highway. Before they closed the bridge, every morning when I was dropping off my kid, back when I was dropping him off, I would look to my right, and I would see, as I'm going on Pawtucket Avenue, I'd see the traffic backed all the way into Massachusetts on a regular basis. So there's always been traffic congestion on that road. Closing the bridge, of course, made it worse, much worse for everybody in our community. And, you know, I'm hoping that this new traffic pattern with an additional lane both ways will help us, and I believe it can only help us.
Well, there's two motoring constituencies here. One is the constituency that just passes through on 195, some of whom said, you know what, I'm going to be smart, I know the roads, and they decided to dump into your city, and that was your Armageddon, right? Yes. And then there's the local community and the local access, which was impacted not only by that, but they're also, the East Providence egress into 195. So there's really kind of two different constituencies. And then, of course, Mayor Smiley has his side on the other side of the Henderson Bridge, which is almost fully completed now, right? And Wayland Square, and he's saying the truck traffic goes over there, which is a puzzle to me because I don't know why any trucker would decide to get that way and start moving. I'm a little confused. We're going to have to talk to Mayor Smiley about that. Are you seeing 18-wheel traffic on a significant basis through East Providence?
We see some of them. I think what's happening is some of this 18-wheel traffic, we see it on Warren Avenue coming from Massachusetts because their Waze or GPS system are telling them to go this way because it's faster. Instead of jumping onto the on-ramp, there's an on-ramp across from Rumford Pet Center on Warren Avenue that's getting very little use. And in the morning and in the evening, rush hours, you see an incredible amount of traffic bypassing that to go down to Pawtucket Avenue to then take a right on Pawtucket Avenue and create further congestion in that area. So if they were to just jump on the highway from Warren Avenue across from Rumford Pet Center, it would help to alleviate some of that traffic. But what I'm being told is that the Waze app and other GPS and direction finding apps are telling people to go this route for whatever reason. So it's causing an issue.
Well, sometimes I think technology is not a big friend. When we come back, we'll revisit the early days, some of the stuff that is incorporated into this challenge, including the business community and some other East Providence stuff still. Stay with us. You know, amidst the challenges of navigating this whole thing is the rhetoric, and it's the real stuff. So you were in complete logjam the first few days, right?
Yes.
I know you don't want to revisit it. I can feel this. I can see the stress just washing over you when you revisit that particular first week.
I've said it before. December 11th at 3:11 p.m. is a date that will go down in infamy for me, anyways, and for our community. That's when we got the call. And
what did you say? Oh, blank.
Some things I can't repeat publicly, but we mobilized immediately. We got we got the fire department. We had to put on an extra rescue. We started mobilizing immediately, and the next 4 days was complete chaos and gridlock in our community. And we did what we could to help, but until they got those bypass lanes open, we were in complete gridlock. It was a nightmare, like nothing I'd ever seen before.
Yeah, people actually saying they couldn't pull out of their driveways.
Yeah, so it was that bad.
There is a level, and this is going to upset people, but listen, every day 3 to 6, I take the heat on the phones when I suggest that sometimes the rhetoric gets its own momentum. There's a little bit of hyperbole that goes along with all of this. You know, people who feel like they are in traffic for it. I mean, we've all done it. you know, you're going somewhere, whether it's for the holidays or going to the ball game at the Amp or whatever, and you say, oh my God, it took me an hour to get here. Well, it really took 35 minutes or whatever. But the governor is already suggested he made his own mistake, starting to qualify for people how much time it was taking. I'm guessing you haven't made that mistake. You do a lot of shaking of your head like you're doing now, listening, because this is not a time for elected and appointed types to be arguing with the constituents about how they're experiencing this, correct?
That's correct. I mean, look, I just want people out there to understand that East Providence is open for business. A lot of these small businesses rely and depend on you. And I think a lot of times people, when they start listening to the rhetoric, think it's far worse than it is. Yes, there is a delay. We're not taking that away from anything. There is a delay in traveling. But you can still make it over here and support your favorite restaurant, your favorite local business.
The SBA came in with some assistance for loans. Off the top of your head, do you know how many businesses accessed the loans?
It was close to 700, I believe.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but that includes not just in East Providence, that includes the whole affected area that could apply. But we had, I think, close to 200 people in East Providence that had applied. And we're hoping that those loans start to get processed a little bit quicker. Because we're hearing that not many people are getting the green light on those.
The bureaucracy is
Right.
difficult that way. Are you feeling if you just asked about today, year to year in late February, are businesses getting back to their pace, or are they still sucking pond water here?
Some are still struggling, and I've had conversations with different business owners, and what they find is that their normal lunch hour traffic, they would get a lot of people coming from Providence and other areas into East Providence to support the local restaurants and businesses, and they find that people are choosing not to because they think they're going to get stuck in traffic. The reality is you can still make it through and make it to East Providence, grab your lunch and head back to where you're going to. There is a little bit of delay. We came back from Providence after the press conference at the State House. There was about, there was added time to our travel, but it wasn't a delay that's going to break the deal. I mean, if you have a favorite restaurant, you have a favorite small business that you want to support in East Providence, they need you now more than ever, and we urge you to please come out and support them.
Commerce and the governor cut a commercial in the holidays, please shop local. I don't know what the impact of that is. We'll see if there's any metrics. Should East Providence be doing its own kind of marketing campaign to say, please come see us?
Yeah, actually, it's interesting. We're putting in for a grant right now through Commerce RI to see if we can do just that.
I think it would be smart.
Yeah, we I try to do it through social media to try to get people out there as much as possible to some of these small restaurants that have been impacted the most. And it's important. Look, once again, and I'm glad that you called me on this show and you have me here today because I want to send that message out to the people that support the local small businesses. They need you now more than ever. Don't turn your back on them. If you're going to add extra time to your travel, just try to plan accordingly and continue supporting your local small businesses. They depend on you.
Right. We're going to come back to a couple of things going on in East Providence as we speak. Stay with us. All right. On the upside, there's stuff going on in East Providence. By the way, we don't have a picture of the high school. That was a pretty good move. That campus is gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and the kids must have a skip in their step going in a new building because that other facility on the other side of the tracks was just, holy cow.
No,
oh my God.
That brand new, we got in there at the right time too, before the inflation that was caused by the pandemic and all the work stoppages.
You got good bond rates.
We got lucky. We borrowed that at less than 2%.
Wow.
On a rate. It was incredible. I mean,
it's amazing. And poor Don Grebian up the road is sitting here looking at astronomical numbers on the Tidewater thing, getting his head beat in every single day. And gosh knows what the new high school there in Pawtucket is going to have to suffer in terms of finance rates, but we all deal with it in housing, whatever. You got a new community center. Tell us real quick about it.
Real excited about that. We are looking to build for East Providence our very first community center, standalone community center for all of our residents, for the senior population, the youth, and workforce development. So we received a little bit over $4 million from the governor's learning center project that he put together in the budget. We got $3 million from Congressman Cicilline through a directed spending.
The learning center is not directly part of, but is attached to the RI 365 plan.
That's correct.
So you signed on to his education plan.
We did.
Bonuses come in terms of money for a facility for you to come and be taught 365. So you've incorporated it all.
That's all. Our architects is incorporating all of the programming into the building.
Where's the community center going to be?
It's going to be on the campus of where the senior center is located, across from the high school.
Okay.
It's on Pawtucket Avenue.
It's a high traffic area.
High traffic area, high visibility. We want our students to be able to go there after school and get additional training and educational opportunities. And then it's going to be a workforce development center.
There aren't many. We should have you back for an extended conversation about this. But there aren't many communities that at least have territory to be able to say, hey, this is untapped resource, and the waterfront is certainly one of them. Whatever we have on that, we can post. But looking at East Providence from the Providence side, it's kind of like an eyesore. But all you see is opportunity, right?
I see opportunity. I mean, our waterfront was highly industrial going back to the early 1900s, and now a lot of those industrial uses have ceased to exist, and we're looking to develop a lot of that property. We're very fortunate to be one of the communities that has developable property on the waterfront, and one of the great projects we're looking to see happen probably starting this year, breaking ground this year, with an actual groundbreaking, would be the new concert venue that's going to be put together, similar to what's at the Leader Bank Pavilion in Boston now. The same owner, the same developers putting that together for us.
On the calendar, you see that maturing when?
2026.
Okay.
I don't know the exact date, but they're saying that they should go live in 2026, so you'll see actual performances and things going on.
So you feel a tourism-y type of pedestrian bridge in Providence type of feel coming to East Providence as well?
We feel that the great successes at the Bull Point Concert Series that we saw happening at that facility are going to be magnified and much more successful for East Providence and the entire state right on our waterfront.
And I know you're working, we have a minute, you're working on some affordable housing issues. Look, there's not a community in the state that's actually abiding by what the law also that requires. What's your percentage of affordable housing right now?
We're just under the 10%.
Are you?
But with all of these projects that we're going to be coming online, once they get counted into our percentage, we'll be well
I don't
over
think
that.
we should call it affordable housing. It ought to be called workforce or some other kind of housing. The dynamics have changed here. The people think affordable housing, think 6 and 8. They think, I'm just putting it in your head. That's not my point of view. Riffraff. They think there's all of this, and there's no, in God's eyes, there's no riffraff. That's what I'm not. But my point is that teachers,
It's workforce development.
television reporters, police officers, firefighters are making good livings and contributing to society and are having trouble making the rent.
Yes, no, it's definitely workforce housing. We call it affordable housing, but it's based on the median income of the community, so it's something that is much needed.
I keep telling the Secretary of Housing to stop calling it that and put a new marketing spin on this so it's more palatable. Good visit. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're 1 for 1 in your engineering in your engineering career. Don't push it.
I won't believe it.
Great to see you, Bob.
Thank
you. The Mayor of East Providence. Final word when we come back. All right. Be patient. 8 weeks to 3 lanes. We think. See you on the radio weekdays 3 to 6.